Hi everybody, good morning, Wednesday morning, and a little weather extra time. First, before I get into the weather, on all seriousness, I'd like to make sure we extend our thoughts and prayers to everybody who's been impacted by Hurricane Melissa. I'm going to talk about Hurricane Melissa, which has now been downgraded to a Category 2, and I will talk about that when we get towards the end of the weather extra. But first, I'm going to cover the local forecast, and we are dealing with some rainfall through the morning hours. It impacted the morning commute. There was some gusty winds. The temperatures are really cool out there, and when you get one of those strong gusty winds and you get the rain hitting you in the face and the temperature sitting at 53 degrees, feels a little raw outside, right? Speaking of rainfall, there it is on the radar, and you can see it's lifting mainly south to north, or maybe a slight southwest to northeast direction. Out west, like in Russellville and Florence, might have a little drizzle still, but most of the rain has shifted east, and it's all working around this big area of low pressure, and it's in the wraparound now. And so we got to keep showers in the forecast. So even though you have dried out areas like from Russellville to Florence, you still have a chance for some showers this afternoon and evening. We're not done with this yet until probably the overnight hours, and we'll see some improvements come for tomorrow and eventually for Friday and the weekend. Temperatures for the most part staying cool today. They'll stay cool for the foreseeable future, but it will get brighter eventually. Right now, that low pressure is off to our north and west. It's an occluded front or a cold core low, cutoff low. They're not quite interchangeable, but still nonetheless, what it means for you at home is the low pressure that's in Mississippi and Tennessee is very slow to move, just kind of wobbling around. And see how all the rain is working around it? So the back edge of the rain that you see out towards Arkansas and Missouri, that's all got to swing around the low pressure. And that's why we have to keep showers in the forecast for this afternoon, this evening, and into the overnight as well. And the low will be very slow to almost like wobble to the east. And therefore, it's so slow moving that's going to keep the clouds around right through the morning hours tomorrow. Though I do think we'll squeeze out a little sunshine by tomorrow afternoon. The temperatures, Eric Burke showed these temperatures back like 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, and they have not moved. And they're probably not going to move through the afternoon. They may even drop a degree or two. So it is a very chilly rain that's falling outside where it's still raining. And then you factor in the winds and the potential wind gusts. I mean, we've already had wind gusts over 25 miles per hour, up to 30 miles an hour. And you'll see as this goes into the afternoon, this graphic, still some wind at least through the early evening hours. And then eventually the wind should back off. But they're going to come back tomorrow, though. And you can see on Thursday, still a real breezy day. And that will be the theme for Friday into Halloween as well. Wind gusts 25, 30 miles an hour. Even when the winds back off at night, they'll come back during the day and make it feel a bit blustery. So wind speed and gusts through the afternoon to 20, 25 miles an hour, and then dropping back tonight as we go into the evening hours, only to come back again tomorrow. So hour by hour forecast. The forecast model showing that shower activity at 1 o'clock working back into our area to the west. Whatever's falling now is starting to lift up into Tennessee. See how it's all kind of spinning around by 4 o'clock? So there's still some showers for the evening commute. That rainfall, not particularly heavy, more just light rainfall, even some pockets of drizzle. By 8 p.m., this particular forecast model run gets the rain out of here by morning tomorrow. But you can see that we're locked in with the cloud cover, and that cloud cover will be really slow to clear out, hoping that by the afternoon you'll get into a little bit of sunshine. But the temperatures are only in the mid to upper 50s tomorrow. It is another cool day, and until we get into that sunshine, when we have cloud cover and you have a wind that's gusting up to 20 miles an hour, sustained 10, turning to the northwest, it's going to feel a lot cooler. It's a day where if you can get a little sunshine, it will feel a lot warmer later in the day. But until that sunshine pops, it's going to be pretty cool. So 3-day forecast. I kept the 20% in for Thursday for maybe a brief shower in the morning, but forecast models now indicating that it looks like more of a dry day, just clouds to sun. Halloween looks good, a little cool for the trick-or-treaters in the evening. And then on Saturday, we'll kick off the weekend dry, temperatures in the low to mid 60s, and it looks really good. We've made a little trick-or-treat forecast. We have a whole bunch of dancing people on the graphics, and they're getting their McDaddy groove on there. A little breezy for the trick-or-treaters maybe at first, and then the winds will back off, but it stays cool. Ironically, we talked about the cool temperatures for a week now. The temperatures last year were actually a little cooler, and it was rainy for Halloween. That's not the case this year. So let's talk about Melissa. It's a Cat 2. It's now north of Cuba. Sets its sights on the Bahamas as we go into the rest of the day today. It will stay west of the Turks and Caicos Islands. Eventually, we'll make a run at Bermuda by the end of the week. Images are now starting to come in of the devastation that took place in Jamaica, and I'm sure that this will be talked about for many days from here on out. One of the strongest hurricanes in the Atlantic to ever make landfall. At one point, Category 5, now downgraded to a Category 2, and eventually will lift north. And the frontal boundary, or that low pressure that's swinging that rain through our area, eventually pivots to the east coast, and Hurricane Melissa will get kind of caught up in that and get pushed out to sea. So there's no chance of it coming back to the east coast, but eventually out to the mid-Atlantic, North Atlantic area, and just brushing Bermuda by the end of the week. So not affecting the lower 48. 10-day forecast. We talked about the slight chance of a shower Thursday, late clearing. Friday, a little breezy but dry. The weekend looks good. Don't forget, daylight saving time comes to an end this weekend. Clocks will fall back 1 hour Saturday night, which means that your sunset on Sunday will be before 5 p.m. The daylight hours are getting shorter. The days are not getting shorter. They're always 24 hours, but your daylight hours are not. Technically, your daylight hours are getting shorter by about 2 minutes, but really we just shift the daylight where it's brighter earlier in the morning and then gets darker faster in the evening, obviously. You see some 20% in there for Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. Forecast models split on exactly where this one area of low pressure along the Gulf will go. The Euro is more aggressive with more in the way of rain, especially for Monday and Tuesday. The GFS keeps it south. So what we've done for now is we've left a couple opportunities for rainfall, and it's really something that we'll just keep monitoring as we go into the end of the week and weekend and fine-tune that part of the forecast. If the low pressure stays south, we're going to stay dry all week. If the low pressure comes a bit more north, it will bring a bit more rain in here for Monday and Tuesday. And how far north that low pressure tracks will play a big part in what kind of rain do we get. Is it light rain, cool rain? Is it more in the way of some steadier, heavier rain? And that's what we'll be tracking as we go into the weekend and getting that part of the forecast ironed out for you, so you have you can make your plans for early next week and see how that plays out. Hi, Jason. Jason says it's wet outside. Yeah, it is a nasty day outside. I went home and got some food on break. Had it's actually my dinner time, and yeah, it was just nasty, wet, damp, drizzly, cool, breezy. But we need the rain, and we had some decent rain. What was it, Sunday night? And now picking up some more rain here today, so that's good, but I would like it maybe to be like in the 60s and raining, maybe not like 52 or 53, but certainly wet. Yes, my friend, certainly wet. Hi, Mike Gentle. Good to see you as always, my good friend. He says, a good rainy morning, Jeff. Good rainy morning to you too, my friend. Hope all is well. And yeah, I was like looking at the cameras this morning. We were on air, tracking the traffic, and Eric's covering the weather. And I mean, every camera we put up was like cloudy, rainy, wet. And you could even see the camera doing a little shimmy with the winds too. So, but yeah, one of those late October kind of days in the Tennessee Valley with this big low pressure to our north and west. And it just continues not only to funnel the rain in, but it has like its own cool air with it too. And keeps it really chilly when you have the clouds and you can't get sunshine, and keeps everything down, right, temperature-wise. Hi, Lisa Chavez. Good morning to you. Thank you for checking out Weather Extra. Appreciate you being on. It's all good. Wednesday, the weekend's almost here. Daylight saving time this weekend. I'm sure stirring the pot, we'll start to get a few more comments about how much people don't like the daylight saving time. We have no control over it, of course. But it's also a good reminder to make sure you check the batteries in those smoke detectors. Can't hurt to do that. If you have a CO2 detector in your house, check the batteries on that. A lot of them are built into the homes now, but those of you who still have the batteries, I do. I actually update my batteries every year at this time. and always something on a more positive way to look at daylight saving time, because I know it's so depressing when the daylight hours go away at like 4:55, right? It actually starts getting darker a little sooner than that. But the good news is maybe, I don't know, I'm trying to find the silver lining, but in about 7 weeks, we'll start adding some minutes or seconds to the daylight hours once we get to the winter solstice, which is in December, right before Christmas. And we actually start adding daylight hours then. I think we get back to 5 p.m. sunsets by, I think it's like January 11th here. I'm not sure. I checked it last year for somebody because she was so sad. And she's like, when's the next 5 p.m. sunset? I can't take this. And I said, I think it's January 10th or 12th, but somewhere around there. Hi, DC from PC, or DO from PC. Oh my gosh, I almost messed that up. DO from PC. Good to see you, Donna Oliver. Hope you're having a fantastic morning. Hope you have a good day. And staying dry and staying warm, right? How many of you put the heat on this past week? It's been chilly. One thing on that 10-day forecast, the forecast model runs last week for Thursday night and Friday night. See how we have a 39 and a 38? The models were real aggressive last week, dipping those temperatures back in the low 30s. And I think Brad put it in his forecast email for us. But when you wake up Friday morning and wake up Saturday morning, because the skies will be mainly clear, unlike tonight where it's still cloudy, that's why we're mid-40s. The clouds act like a blanket. Remember that. When you clear things out, it can get a lot colder. So when you wake up Friday and Saturday morning, there's some forecast models that dip parts of Middle Tennessee back into the low to mid-30s, and there could be a light frost out there, especially Saturday morning when we're on air together. I don't think it'll be widespread, but a lot of you have been asking when's the first frost, and yeah, we haven't had it yet, right? We've had some cold mornings, though. I remember one morning Eric was on and we were talking about it, and Pulaski had dropped back to like 33 or 34. So we've had some cold mornings, but the models were real aggressive with maybe having more of a widespread frost last week. Not quite as cold, but I promise when you wake up Friday and Saturday morning, it's going to feel cold with temperatures in the upper 30s. And again, there could be some low to mid 30s, especially for our viewers in Middle Tennessee, especially northern Lincoln County, areas like northern Lawrence County, and even out towards northern Franklin County, especially if you can get a little elevation too. That would probably make it feel a little chillier. So keep an eye on it though. Peyton's on, TVL coming up at 11 o'clock. I add a few weather hits into the middle of all that. And then we're on at noon. Gina Benitez and myself, she'll have all the updates for you news-wise. Breaking stories this morning. I'll add a little bit of weather to the mix. And then Chief Meteorologist Brad Travis is in tonight. And he'll have the very latest on the forecast. He'll be tracking the rainfall, letting you know when it's going to move out. And probably start to talk a little bit more about Friday and the weekend too, trying to figure out how that system next week is going to play out. Forecast models, the Euro is real aggressive, the GFS keeps it to the south, and all that means for you at home. Think of it as scenario 1 and scenario 2, and they're completely different, so they'll eventually come together, and that's what we do. We wait to see how that all plays out, but we've added some 20% in there just to let you know that there's something. How it plays out, though, we'll see how it works out with the timing and how close that low pressure gets to us. But overall, though, if it misses and stays south, there's going to be nothing but sunshine all next week, which means once we get past this rainfall today, there's a lot of sun in the forecast if that system misses early next week. So, all right, everybody have a fantastic day. Stay warm, stay dry, and I'll see you back here for Weather Extra tomorrow at 10:30. Have a good day.